Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 4 of Dusty's survival series on FS22. It's November, it's getting cold and Dusty is getting very fed up of having to keep mowing grass. Can he find another way to generate income? Stick around to find out. Well, good morning, Dusty. How was your first night in your cabin?
It's so nice to have a place I can call my own.
I'm really glad to hear that. Fantastic news. Well, Dusty, it looks like you've been busy. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's November. The weather is going to be quite balmy, actually. I think we're going to hit around 21 degrees come 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But yeah, it looks like you've been busy, Dusty. It looks like you've got all of your bales in. In fact, you can see the grass has already started to grow up. Oh, the crows grow up between the bales, so we need to get those picked up as soon as possible. We can either stack them and store them, or we can just get them sold. I haven't quite decided what to do yet. We just head up to the top of the hill. You can see Dusty was busy towards the end of October. He felled a couple more trees, and we have a lovely trailer full of some rather large logs back down at the homestead. Although sadly it looks like some of these have come off during the night. I don't think it was too windy and they were properly strapped down, but there we go. We'll get those loaded back on, and I think the first job this morning, Dusty, is to get those loaded onto the tractor and down to the sawmill.
Sure thing, boss. Let's get this load cashed in.
Okay, that's looking pretty good. That's nicely loaded, nicely packed. It's the biggest load we've ever taken down to the sawmill, so let's go and see just how much cash we get for this load. In the previous episode, one of the things we discussed was a way of bringing in some form of continuous passive income. And there are various things that we can do. Animals, definitely one thing, and greenhouses. And I think today we're going to investigate greenhouses and quite how many greenhouses we could set up, where we might want to set them up. We have to have a consideration in terms of transportation of water and obviously transportation of any crates, although we can just set the greenhouses to sell automatically, which might be a good step forward. I'm just concerned about having the greenhouses right the way up here, right out of civilization, and having to haul them backwards and forwards. So let's get this load of logs down to the sawmill, and then perhaps we'll have a little think and see what we might want to do next. All the leaves are changing colour. It's looking very autumnal. It's a lovely time of year to be out in the fresh air. Let's get round this bend with this rather long load. Oh dear. So here is our field here, field 21. We'll get to the track and we'll just hop off. I think this is wilted. I don't believe it would be able to be harvested now anyway, and I just don't think we've got the funds for it. So if we look up the top right hand side, we've got £3,319. I'm curious to see what we get for this load. Lovely, lovely part of the world. And here we are, back at our old friend, the sawmill. And let's sell for 18 grand. Oh, that was peachy. One more load like that and we could be, well, we'd have so much money we wouldn't know what to do with it. Hey, Dusty?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me.
Just as Dusty was driving past field 21, I thought I'd have a look at greenhouses. So we've got the small, medium and large, and we've got 21 grand in the bank, and there's nothing stopping Dusty going up and felling a couple more of those really large trees right at the top of the land that he owns south of here. And I'm just looking at where we could place these. If we wanted to keep them kind of near to civilization, we could quite feasibly place a couple of greenhouses, the large ones, alongside this field. There'd still be space to turn, although in all honesty, when we're working this field, I think we're going to go the length of the field rather than width. So even if we plopped one here and another one behind with a water tower somewhere in here so that we don't have to worry too much about it. We would have to consider about a Bowser. We have the ABI 550, which is 2,000 litres, 1,600. Then we're moving up to 7,000, 8,000. I can't remember quite how much water each of these takes. I do remember from my tutorial, and I'll stick a card up in the right hand side. In my tutorial on the MKS 32, which is 32,000, we still had to do a couple of trips backwards and forwards, but we just can't afford that. So yes, we are going to have to keep an eye on the water usage of these greenhouses, but I do feel it's an investment. Maybe we might go for the Joskin, the Aquatrans 7300 series S. That's a good place to start off, and I think we'd do that with a large greenhouse. So Dusty, it's your land. What do you feel about sticking a greenhouse down just on the back side of this field here?
I think that's a swell idea.
Okay, well that's good to know. I'm thinking a large greenhouse, the £10,000 one. If you go and fell a couple more trees, another load like that, we'd be sweet for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Okay, computer guy. That sounds like a good plan to me.
Let's get this one laid down then. Right, let's stick a large greenhouse. I don't think I want to go right to the edge, but I could do. There. We have a choice between a standard water tank and our fire hydrant, our water hydrant, which is considerably cheaper. It is a mod, but I believe it's a reasonable mod. It's realistic and true to life, so I don't mind having this in the game. I think, where would we want to drop that? We don't want it to be bang in the way. Maybe on the corner here? No, that's going to be a problem for turning. Realistically, you would have it near the edge of the road, and I may regret putting it all the way over by the greenhouses over here. So if I place it here by the edge of the road, not too close to the field to affect turning, but right by this fence, I think that's lovely. That's a great job. And we'll pop into the store and we'll pick up the Joskin Aquatrans, and being that we're this end, we can quickly go and pick that up and get our first crops into our greenhouse. Right then, Dusty, do you want to go pick that one up?
Oh yeah. I'll just leave the trailer here, back in 2 shakes of a buffalo's tail.
And we'll just pull in here alongside our new hydrant, and hopefully, if I get close enough, that should do it. Then we can fill up with water. Dusty can fill the water butts on the new greenhouse, and we can get some crops in. I think we may run out of money before we fill our tank. It's going to be close. 87%, 80, 90, £100 left, 97. Oh, $90 bucks left. Okay, let's get over to the water butt and get this in, and hopefully start to get some passive income underway with some fruit and veg. Right, I can hear that filling up. Right, that's done. It won't be full because this Bowser, even when it's full, doesn't contain enough liquid to fill this greenhouse. So we have either tomatoes, lettuce, or strawberries. Cycles per month. Ah, interesting. So this is new. I don't remember seeing that before. This is since the update 1.2 patch. We can now see how many cycles are per month. I think we'll go for tomatoes, and we will set those to selling. We'll set them all to selling in case we ever come back and add more. Or we could just have a mix of everything. I don't suppose it really matters at this stage. Let's go with that. Let's see how we get on. And yeah, we're underway. Well, I'm just helping out Dusty right now, pick up some bales. We're going to have to do this by hand. We can't afford any specialist equipment right now, so I'm just going to stack these as neatly as I can and hopefully get those on fairly tidily. We'll strap everything down, and then we'll head over to the animal dealer again and get rid of the whole lot. I'm definitely of the mind that grass just isn't very lucrative, and And until we get some proper hardcore machinery, it's such a long, laborious process. Doing all this by hand is just painful. It was fine as an experiment, and you know, we are trying to survive, so every little bit of cash helps, but I'd almost rather just spend my entire day with Dusty logging than I would faff around with all this grass, because yeah, it's slow. We are about, I suppose, halfway. Dusty and I have been loading these on by hand, and it's getting very, very heavy. Slipping and sliding on this grass. Come on, tractor, just get to the top of this hill and then we'll get the load on and we'll just travel by road the entire way. I do often cut across the fields to get to the main city centre, but I think right now with this load on and this tractor, we are going to just have to keep it safe, keep it on flat road surface as much as possible. Really, really want a new tractor. The tractor is now the prohibiting factor. Everything takes so long. Come on! Come on! Okay, I'm heading off with Dusty to the animal dealer. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon, and the trailer has got two, as you can see, two levels of bales on the back, and the tractor is really struggling. I didn't want to put any more on for risk of actually not being able to move the damn thing. So yeah, come on, Dusty, can you get it going?
This thing's got no power.
Yeah, I know. We desperately need to trade up. But let's get these bales over, we'll get them sold and just see what we make. I hope we get through this level crossing. Yes, we just made it. We're just about to pull into the animal dealer. We have 42,000 litres of grass on board. Let's see how much this whole load sells for. Right, we'll unstrap it, and away we go. 2,000. Let's call that 2,700. £2,700 for a huge amount of work. Dusty has worked so hard on mowing, windrowing, picking it up and baling it, and then having to load them all on the back of the trailer by hand. It really seems such a small amount of money for the amount of work that goes into it. So I definitely feel that perhaps grass is not the way forward at this stage. We need to find other revenue streams, and we'll just see what we can do instead.
Yeah, that was damn hard. I'd be happy to get some more greenhouses. Ain't it time we thought about some buffalo?
I don't think there's buffalo here, Dusty, but certainly cows, if that's what you mean.
Hey, our tractor's running real slow.
Yeah, I think we need to get it repaired, Dusty. You also need some fuel by the looks of it.
Okay, let me deal with that now.
Repair is going to cost us 1,433, so I think we best go ahead and do that. The value's gone up, so it's now worth 10 grand. That's good to know. Do we want to repaint it? I don't think we really do at this stage. Let's go get some fuel in this bad boy. Now, how much is this going to break the bank? 97. That's not too bad at all. So we're fully fueled. We're all repaired. There's a lot of deer around here. It certainly is dark in the valley during the winter when the sun is behind the mountains. We'll just pop in here, we'll drop our trailer off, we'll pick up the Bowser and just make sure that there's enough water in the greenhouses while we've got a bit of cash in a bank. Let's make sure that we're topped up as best as we can be. Well, we've filled up the greenhouse with one Bowser. It still needs some more. We're just going to use up the last bit of cash we've got to fill this up now, and then I'll leave it here just by the hydrant, and that should be fine for now. Just leave her out of the way. There we go. We'll go and pick up the trailer, head back to our field, pick up these last few bales, and in all honesty, I think I'm going to sell the baler and the windrower and the mower, and I wonder if we can also sell this tractor. We might be able to afford a decent tractor. It feels like perhaps a step backwards, but yeah, I think the only way we're going to move forward is by having the equipment we need ahead of time, because we are struggling with this little tractor right here. Okay, we're back in the valley. Dusty, can I leave you to sort this lot out?
Yeah, I suppose so. It ain't half boring though.
Yeah, I know, I appreciate that, but appreciate your help though, thank you. Well, it's 25 to 3 in the afternoon. The sun's really starting to drop now. I'm just going to offload these with Dusty, and then I'll head over to the animal dealer and we'll get the bales sold. Well guys, I'm sorry. The whole plan of mowing and baling and making big money just hasn't really gone through, has it? I think we're going to have to rethink that plan. We may come back to that another day. For now, let's jump into here. We'll sell the windrower for 2,200. For some reason, it may be because it's a mod, I couldn't sell this directly, so I'm going to sell it from within the interface, so that we'll get 2,200 for that. We'll sell, and that takes our total to 6,162. And here we are. Let me just unstrap these, bring up the interface so we can see what we're selling for. We're on 6,100. Here they go. And that was a 1,900. Meager. It's meager money, folks. It really is. We're back in this small little copse of trees just over the hill from Dusty's homestead. I think you can just about see it through the trees there. Let me move across. Dead center. There we go. If we clear some of these, I think there's money to be made here. We'll do this, and then I think we're going to be in a really strong position to think about some proper machinery. I think Dusty and I need to have a sit down and draw up a proper plan as to what we're going to do next, because the grass thing just did not work out for us. I think it's time to look at a harvester and really to get into the field work, or we commit to some animals. If we go down the animal route, we're going to need extra land in which to place the various pens and so on. If we go down the field route, then we've got a field. Sadly, I think that will be withered by the time we have the equipment, but at least we'll be able to get on with it and use the field when we have all the machinery that we need. Wow, it's a great job there, Dusty. It's 4 o'clock, literally just gone 4 o'clock. We've got 3 large trees here, and that's the biggest load I think we've had. So I think we could be on for another 16 to 20 grand here, which will be absolutely fantastic. We've got 25 grand right now. We'll take a look and see if there's anything on deal worth looking at. We've got the Bison ZO56, which I believe is a Russian vehicle. Somebody let me know in the comments if that's wrong. And then we have the New Holland TX32, a classic. If we were to look at the Bison, 30 grand, we need a header to go with that. Yes, the Bison header, which does everything apart from corn. And the New Holland is 20,000, but does everything apart from corn. These two together is 37. With the corn header, it was 19, so that's 49. If we are ever going to get this field harvested, now is the time. It would be a long night, but I think if we get 2 more loads of logs on and we're getting around 17 to 18 grand a trailer, that could just get us enough, and this is ready to harvest now. The other thought I have had, ladies and gentlemen, is we have this big grass field that we've mowed, and if we look at the crop calendar, we would have to absolutely go hell for leather to get enough logs in time to then go and purchase a combine and a header and to get that harvest in. And I just don't know whether or not it's worth it in terms of spending all that money on a combine, which will then sit still right through till, well, the earliest thing that's going to grow is barley in June.
Hey, computer guy, I got an idea.
Sure, Dusty, far away. What's on your mind?
Fowl.
What do you mean fowl?
Birds. Chickens. Why don't we get some chickens?
Hey, that's not a bad idea. We've certainly got the money for it.
And you're always talking about passive income. I think this might work.
It's certainly an idea, Dusty. Let's go and have a look at that grass field that we just mowed and see if we can plot one down there.
Righto. Let's get a move in.
This feels like a really good place to perhaps start. So we've got loading point there. It's overlapping with another object. I'm not quite sure what that is. However, we could go here. And we've also still got enough grass behind us that this should actually work well in terms of mowing for any other animals. So we've got a small pasture there. I'm very tempted to stick another one down. Right, we have 2 chicken pastures here on quite a... It's quite hilly and quite banked, but I don't think that's an issue. Okay, we need to think about this strategically. We could just plough in a whole load of adult chickens, but I think it makes sense to actually start with a couple of adolescents that can then grow and mature because they're far cheaper. I think we'll buy 10 adolescents. Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll buy 10 of the adults. Yep. And just for a laugh, we'll buy a rooster. Dusty's got chickens. So we have 20 in here plus a rooster, 10 adolescents, 10 adults, and we have exactly the same in the pen below. We need to go and purchase a couple of bales for food, chicken feed perhaps, but that's fine. We can get these happy chappies laying eggs as soon as possible. That will start to generate a slow and small but steady income. Dusty's just picked up a couple of bags of wheat or organic chicken feed. We'll whiz that back down to the chickens and get them all fed up and happy. So we've just offloaded that bulk bag, and that's sat on the distribution point, so as and when the trough runs low, it should automatically fill up. Well, we'll have a look. So they are happy, they have grain, and obviously they're not being productive at the moment. That's a young one, that's a chick. Have a quick look at our tomatoes. We have 23 litres selling. The water's okay for the minute. I don't think we need to worry about that. So I'm happy with that situation. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, we will call it a day there. We've had another productive day. We've learnt some things. We've moved into greenhouses and we've moved into animal husbandry. We have ourselves a couple of pens full of chickens. We've learnt what we don't enjoy doing, which is mowing. Certainly not worth the effort, but we are still making a fair amount of money from felling trees and selling the wood at the sawmill. So that's a very good fallback that we can keep relying on if we need to. Our big trailer would take about 18 grand's worth of wood at a time, so that's a good thing. So please leave your comments and ideas below. If you've missed the first 3 videos of this series, click on the card on the right hand side. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you all very soon.